I had a friend. Her name was Marina. She was a real friend. She never betrayed me. And if I had a fight with my parents, she always let me stay with her. One day, I once again quarreled with my parents and called her and asked if I could come to her. She said she would be very happy to have me over. When I got to her house, she opened the door for me and I immediately rushed to her and cried. She asked me what was wrong and I told her about my scandal with my parents. She asked me to calm down and took me to the kitchen. I drank some tea and calmed down. Then we talked about this and that, and she offered to stay the night. I accepted her offer with great pleasure. She made a bed for me in one room and for herself in the other. We wished each other good night and went to bed. I couldn't sleep for a long time. My eyes just couldn't close. I kept thinking about my parents. As suddenly I heard Marina shout, "Don't, it's not me." I jumped off the bed and ran to her room. When I entered her room, I saw Marina grabbing her neck with both hands, rolling on the floor and screaming, "It's not me, it's not me." I ran up to her and started hitting her face with my palms. Marina seemed to pull away, opened her eyes and looked at me. There was terror in her eyes. I asked her what happened, to which she told me only one thing. He came again. I put her on the bed, poured water into a glass, and gave it to her. When she came to her senses, she told me a story that shocked me. One summer day, she and her friends decided to go to a lake. The lake was notorious. It was rumored that in it lives a drowned man who was brutally killed and then drowned, and that the one who bathes in the lake at night, he grabs his legs and pulls to the bottom. So Marina and her friends came to the lake. It was already evening. While they put up their tents, lit a fire, it was already dark. It was stuffy outside, so Marina decided to take a dip in the lake. She undressed and swam. The water was very good. Suddenly, something grabbed her legs and pulled her sharply down. She only had time to shout, "Help!" and went underwater. She opened her eyes underwater and saw that some vile creature was holding her legs and saying, "You killed me." Marina further said that she lost consciousness and that she woke up on the ground. She was saved by a guy she knew. He saw her shout something and went underwater, and he rushed after her. She told everyone what had happened to her, but no one believed her. They said she just choked on water and hallucinated. And after that story, this creature started coming to her at night. It came to her tonight. She asked me to come to her again tomorrow because she is very afraid of being alone at night. She needs someone to be with her every night to pull her out of the creature's clutches. I promised her I would come tomorrow. We slept till morning. Then I got up, washed my face, and went home. Evening came, and I started to get ready to go to Marina's. My mother came into my room and asked me to sit for a couple of hours with my younger brother, while they went with my father to the movie theater. I agreed, but warned her that I would only stay for 2 hours. They got dressed and left. I called Marina and told her I'd be there in 2 hours. She said she would wait for me. 2 hours passed, but my parents didn't show up. I started to get nervous. Another hour passed, but no one was there. I took out a book and started reading it to my brother. After half an hour, he and I fell asleep. I woke up to someone opening the door with the keys. I opened my eyes and saw that the sun was shining outside the window. I rushed to the door and saw my parents standing there. They told me that they had met some acquaintances at the movies and went to visit them. I said that this was not the way to do it, and with tears, I ran to the phone. I dialed Marina's phone number, but no one answered. I quickly got dressed and ran to Marina's house. When I ran to her door, I saw that it was open and that there were a lot of people in uniform in her apartment. I went into the apartment and saw Marina. She was lying covered with a sheet on the floor near her bed. I rushed to her, but someone grabbed me by the arm and asked, "Young lady, what are you doing here?" I turned my head and saw that a policeman was holding my hand. When I told him everything, he told me that Marina was dead. She'd been strangled. They took my fingerprints and let me go home. I ran home, locked myself in my room, lay on my bed and cried. After a few minutes, I fell asleep. In my dream, I saw a pink meadow, and Marina was standing on it. I ran up to her, took her hand and said to her, "I'm sorry I didn't save you." She smiled affectionately at me and told me that she was not offended by me and that she was very happy here. She gave me a gentle hug, kissed me on the cheek, and disappeared. 3 days later, the funeral took place.